Hi Capricorn, welcome to your August energy reading. My name is Kimberly from the Path Illuminated. If you are returning, thank you so much for your support. If you are new here, welcome. This is still a relatively new channel, and I will be providing monthly energy readings. If nothing else, it really just honestly depends on my energy levels and my time constraints. It is July 21st. Yes, pretty sure it is. Yes, it is. Oh man, time's not real. But we are coming to the end of July somehow, and the end of Cancer season. We will be moving into Leo season on July 23rd. I have been saying the 22nd, but I always caveat it by saying, look, I'm not an astrologer. I do follow astrology, but I am not yet an astrologer. But we do have tomorrow, July 22nd, Venus is going retrograde in Leo. And we had the Cancer new moon that just happened on Monday, the 17th. And we had the lunar nodes shift to the Aries Libra axis. And I believe that as of tomorrow, if I am not mistaken, because again, I'm not an astrologer, we'll have 7 planets in retrograde this summer. So the energies have been pretty intense. So I hope you're taking care of yourself, Capricorn. As I mentioned, this will be an energy reading for August 2023 there's a Capricorn card as I'm shuffling. It will be a collective energy reading for Capricorn for August. So the messages may resonate, they may not. Take what resonates, leave the rest, put yourself where you go. Always remember, Capricorn, that you know your life and your situation better than anybody else. And you should trust your own instincts and guidance and intuition. But hopefully this energy reading will provide you with some insight, some perspective, some feedback, some support and inspiration with regard to your path forward. And remember that you do have free will, and energy and time are both fluid. So if something comes out in the reading, Capricorn, that you don't like, you can change your perspective, you can change how you deal with a situation, you can change how you deal with a person, people, you can change how you deal with yourself, right? So just keep that in mind. If you are interested in a personal reading, I will link my website below. You can take a look at my offerings and reach out if you are interested. We've got a couple of options for pre-recorded readings or one-on-one session depending on your time and budget. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to start with 5 cards for the overall energy. Then we will pull some clarifiers, and then we will close it out with a card from the Animal Spirit deck. Thank you, angels, spirits, and guides. Please help me in pulling a clear and accurate reading for the Capricorn Collective for the month of August. What messages do you have, Spirit, for Capricorn? Thank you, angels, spirits, and guides. Please help me in providing a beneficial reading for the Capricorn Collective for August. Thank you, angels, spirits, and guides. Thank you, angels, spirits, and guides. One too many cards. One more card, please, Spirit. Lion. All right, so we've got the initial 5 cards out here. I'm gonna shuffle the other deck to clarify here. You might be feeling a bit like your money is unstable during the month of August, Capricorn. Something I keep reminding people of when it does come up in the readings is that, you know, we obviously have a lot of chaos globally with the economy, and we've got Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, so there's just a lot of chaos financially. So what I would say with regard to the 4 of Pentacles in reverse and instability with regard to finances and money, only you know, Capricorn, like whether or not this is actually happening or if it's perceived, right? If it's like the fear of being financially unstable. So in any event, okay. Why is the 4 of Pentacles in reverse here, Spirit, for Capricorn? Why is the 4 of Pentacles here? Why is Justice here, Spirit? Why is Justice here? Why is the Lovers here? Why is the 3 of Swords here, Spirit? Why is the 2 of Swords here, Spirit? Okay. I will be pulling additional cards once we get through the initial reading before I close it out. Okay, so looks like during the month of August, as I mentioned, Capricorn, you are, whether or not this is a real financial instability or if you're just feeling anxious about your finances and the economy and work, which is completely understandable. It is clarified by the 4 of Cups in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse. So it seems to me that you are wanting to refocus and find what matters in life. So when the 4 of Cups is upright, this is like your focus is on situations that aren't really working out for you or not emotionally fulfilling. And because of your focus, you're not seeing what the universe is offering you. But in reverse, to me, this seems like during the month of August, you're trying to work on your perspective and what you're focusing on, and trying to make sure that, you know, you're seeing things clearly as related to, you know, your finances and your stability in life. It looks like you have been maybe struggling with opening up yourself emotionally. And as I'm looking at the cards, I do think that this has to do with love and relationship. So I think just these first few cards, there could also sort of be a push from Spirit to reconfigure your perspective, in the sense that it's important to mention, right, as we're moving into this Venus retrograde in Leo, that Venus, our Venus placement, and for those of you who may not be familiar, you would need to get your birth chart read to understand where my Venus is actually in Capricorn. So your Venus, and you can get a free birth chart online. You can just Google it, free birth chart. You don't, I mean, I would suggest getting your birth chart read by a professional astrologer. I think it's a really wonderful experience personally, because astrology is extremely deep. But you can get it free just to like get a bit more understanding about your astrological placements, which I think is highly beneficial. But your Venus placement has to do with your values in life. And a lot of it has to do with money, with work, and also love and relationships. And, you know, those two are intertwined, although folks don't necessarily always believe that, but they are very, very connected. So what I'm seeing here is that you may be feeling a bit out of balance, insecure with your finances. You're trying to change your perspective. You've been trying to not let your emotions get away with you or like mislead you with regard to your focus. You're looking for balance. Justice, card of Libra. You know, as I mentioned earlier, we had the lunar nodes shift this week to the Aries Libra axis. And what that is about is balancing the individual with community, with family, with love and relationships, right? Like learning how to find the balance between asserting your own individuality and authority and autonomy while also maintaining loving, you know, reciprocal relationships, right? So I think that August for you, Capricorn, is about finding that balance. Now, like I love to see that justice here is clarified by the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. This is somebody who is taking care of themselves, is filling their own cup, is doing the things that bring them joy, is prioritizing emotional fulfillment and happiness in their life. This individual is, you know, single, on their own, doing the things that they love. So it seems to me like you're working on finding the balance between work and play in the month of August. And I love that, especially as we're like, you know, we're moving into Leo season, as I mentioned on July 23rd. Leo is ruled by the heart and the sun, and it also has a lot to do with children. So I think like learning how to get out there and enjoy yourself is critical, especially for you, Capricorn. Capricorns are very hardworking and very, you know, pentacle focused, which, you know, I appreciate that for what it's worth. But like, you know, one of my favorite movies, The Shining, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Okay. Just remember that, Capricorn. All right. If you're not having a good time, you're doing it wrong. All right. So next card, another major arcana, the Lovers. This is a card of Gemini. Just given what's here, I do think this has to do with love and relationships, but the Lovers is also a card of making a really big life-altering decision. And perhaps, right, we have the Magician here, and this is, you know, the Magician represents somebody that has everything that they need to manifest the life that they want. They have the swords, they have the wands, they have the pentacles, they have the cups, they have everything that they need to come to a place of building the life that they love and making it magical and beautiful and lovely, right? So it seems to me like you're trying to figure out and make a decision on what you want in life. Now, it's clear that you have gone through some type of heartbreak and betrayal and a painful ending. I don't know if this is recent, if it's happening now, if it's happening in August, or if this is something that has happened in the recent past. Only you know, Capricorn, but it seems like perhaps, as I'm picking up the energy, you know, because of the heartbreak you suffered in love and relationships, that has made you be more focused on work and your finances, but now you're kind of in this place of wanting to come out of that and wanting to find the balance and understanding that like you need both. Like you don't just want the money, you want someone to share it with, which, if I'm not mistaken, there was a lot of that sort of guidance from the July reading to like, if you have all this money, like that's great, but if you have no one to share it with, like what's the point? So it seems to me like you're really picking up on that and starting to open your heart, but you're still feeling the pain of this past heartbreak. Two of Wands is all about considering your path forward, what you want to do, what's possible, where you want to go, where you want your passions to lead you. So you're definitely thinking about this past heartbreak that had an impact on you and potentially put you into a place of kind of shunning love for quite some time. And you're really thinking about like, I think you are starting to want to come out of this place of feeling out of balance with regard to how much you're investing in your career and making money, and you want somebody to share that with, but the betrayal, the heartbreak, the fear of being brokenhearted again or hurt is something that you're sort of sitting with, processing, digesting. You're definitely going to be feeling a bit unclear about how you want to move forward. However, this card is very much telling you to trust spirit, trust the guidance that you're getting, right? This person, they're blindfolded, which means that they have to rely on their intuition, which I know is not always the easiest thing for a Capricorn to do. You know, you very much are about the 3D reality, what is here, what is possible, what is logical, what is grounded, right? But I think that spirit is telling you that you're going to have to open up and be vulnerable if love is what you want. And it's about balance, as I was saying, right? And twos are great for balancing, right? What do you want? What do you need? What do you desire? How do you get there? And in the best way, how do you manifest, you know, this relationship to complement your life? A reader that I love, Jessica from High Priestess Healing Tarot, mentioned when I got this card in a personal reading with her, is that this individual is covering their heart, right? So it's not about closing your heart, Capricorn, but it is about protecting it, right? And these swords, which is air energy for what it's worth, right, is like using your logic and making sure you have your boundaries up while you trust spirit to help guide you. Like, your boundaries are going to help you to make the best decision you can for yourself, because, you know, boundaries are a way to stop yourself from, you know, reverting back into old toxic habits. Now, it's clarified by the Hanged One, aka the Hangman, but it's in reverse. So you're definitely going to be struggling during the month of August with changing your perspective. I think, you know, you're just so used to being really, really focused on your money that now that you're starting to really open your heart and you are very much wanting to manifest a loving romantic relationship in your life, because of this heartbreak that you've experienced in the past, you're having a hard time letting that go. As it's just one of those things, Capricorn, when it comes to love and relationships, there's no way to actually be open to a healthy connection unless you are open to being vulnerable, right? But those boundaries are what are going to help you navigate that. Let's pull some additional cards to go a little bit deeper before we close out this reading. What additional insights do you have for Capricorn spirit? You're wanting to take your time. There may be someone in particular, only you know, Capricorn, that you feel very passionate about, and you want to reach out to them. Like, again, like with this, you know, Knight of Cups in reverse, if it was upright, this is a knight that is moving forward with, you know, an emotional, loving offer to somebody. But it's in reverse. So I think you're thinking about it, but you're very hesitant to move forward because you're afraid of being rejected, of this being an unrequited love situation, I think. What additional insights and information do you have for Capricorn spirit? What additional insights do you have for Capricorn? You do not see how this is going to happen. I do believe that there's going to be an opportunity for you with love, Capricorn, but the path forward is going to remain unclear because you're being challenged by the universe to have faith. And I know that's hard for you, Capricorn. I get it. I understand. You know, you want to know what it is before you sign the contract. I get that. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to get married, but, like, you know, you can't know until you reach out to somebody. You can't know until you ask them on an actual date. You can't know until you actually, you know, text them or give them a phone call or say, hey, like, I really, you know, am interested in getting to know you more. Would you like to go out to coffee, right? Like, don't put so much on it. Like, start small, right? Start, you know, just to test the waters out, right? Don't get too far ahead of yourself and allow your fear of heartbreak from the past stop you from having hope and faith and love for the future. Yeah, you're afraid of unrequited love, of reaching out to this person and they don't reciprocate, they don't feel the same, and things not working out in the end. It's understandable, Capricorn. And you can, obviously, like I said, you have free will. You can do what you want. You can allow your fears to keep you stuck. You can allow your fears to you know, convince you that love is not possible and there's no good men or women out there and I'm never going to find love. And whatever you believe, Capricorn, is going to be true. So if deep down you want a loving romantic relationship, you're going to have to accept the risk and the fear. You're afraid of this not being successful. A lot of fears. Again, I get it. I understand. I've been heartbroken and betrayed. You're not really sure how to communicate with this person. You're afraid of approaching them. You're overthinking. You might, your ego may be convincing you that the only way to approach this person that you are interested in is by playing mind games, but I would highly suggest you avoid the mind games. Don't manipulate somebody. Why do you want to manipulate somebody into talking to you or going on a date with you or liking you? Don't you want a person that you want to date or be in love with? Wouldn't you want them to love you for who you are, Capricorn? Like, I know it's scary to put yourself out there and to lay your cards out on the line, but there is no other option if you actually want a legitimate love connection. You're not seeing things clearly right now, Capricorn. You're just not. But I think that's because your fear of heartbreak from the past is, I'm going to pull one more card. It's really impacted. But again, right, like we do have Venus going into retrograde tomorrow, literally. And, you know, reversed cards have a lot to do with going inward. So I think that you are being called to address these fears and your own blockages and the narratives in your mind with regard to the possibilities for you with love. Like, again, right, we have the Magician here clarifying the Lovers. You have the power, Capricorn, to manifest the life and the love that you want, but you are not going to manifest actually what you deserve if you are coming from a place of fear. So, I mean, the cards aren't coming out, so I'm gonna leave it here and just kind of go into my little download that's coming through, right? Like, what you focus on grows, and our ego, for better or for worse, is present to help protect us. The ego is always looking for threats. The ego is always looking to keep us from getting hurt. And it convinces us, many of us, to be paranoid, to be hyper vigilant because of trauma and past betrayal, that like we have to like constantly be reading between the lines and being strategic with how we approach dating and relationships because we can't be too vulnerable or we're gonna get hurt. And like we end up focusing so much on the fear and then we keep manifesting it because what you focus on grows. So the fear is understandable, but that doesn't mean it's real, right? So you have to process sort of, why are you feeling this way? And ask yourself, Capricorn, are those fears that you've been holding on to, that your ego has been operating under, has that actually helped you to find, you know, a reciprocal, healthy, loving relationship? Or have you continued to have toxic relationship dynamics that have ended in betrayal despite all your best efforts, all your manipulation, all your mind games, all your tactics? You cannot find an emotionally available partner, Capricorn, unless you show up as emotionally available as well, which means being open to the risk of being heartbroken. There is no life without death. There is no love without grief or heartbreak. It is part of the risk. And even in, you know, our ideal situation of like, oh, I meet this person who's my soulmate and like we live happily ever after, not to get too morbid, Capricorn, but like at some point life ends, right? So even if you're with somebody for the rest of your life, one of you is eventually going to pass away and the other person will be left alone. And it is the love that you have for somebody that brings up the grief. So you can't have one without the other. So I think, you know, Spirit is really admonishing you to be honest with yourself about how the past, how your trauma, how your heartbreaks, how the stories that you have attached yourself to have kind of stopped you from really manifesting what you truly desire with regard to love and relationships. And it's not something you need to judge. It's just something you need to be honest with yourself about so that you can start to process it and work through it and start to work with your inner child to, you know, tell them like, hey, I understand that you're scared and you don't want to be hurt or abandoned or betrayed, but like we're an adult now and I'm going to keep you safe because I have my boundaries in place, right? Like, and if somebody is unhealthy, if they're codependent, if they're toxic, if they're manipulative, right? Like, then I'm going to enforce my boundaries and I'm not going to continue to date that person because I want somebody who's healthy, emotionally available, and actually ready to have a real relationship. But you have to show up that way too, Capricorn. You can't just list all of the qualities you want in a romantic partner if you don't yourself embody them. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it there. Let's pull a card from the Animal Spirit deck to close it out. Spirit, what final messages and advice do you have for Capricorn? That's too many. I'll take 2, but not 3. Good. Card for Capricorn. Deck does not want to speak today. Well, I mean, it gave me 3 cards, and I was just being, you know, I could have taken off. Now it's giving me 4. Okay, now Spirit is playing with me. Thinks it's funny. Spirit is funny. The universe is funny. Okay. Snake. Snake. All right, Earth energy, very appropriate, Capricorn. Okay, here we go. Snake, guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. The snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It is said that Shakti, our creative life force, lies dormant at the base of our spine in the form of a coiled snake. Regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it's well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. What would life look like if you woke it up? How can you stir it from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher can lead the way. Make haste. The snake card appears when there is no more time to waste. When in balance, prosperous, creative, and charismatic. When out of balance, starts and stops many things. To bring into balance, Kundalini yoga and meditation. Yeah, I think if you don't have spiritual practices such as meditation, yoga, journaling, there's so many of them, that's going to help you to process your fears around love and relationships and heartbreak, Capricorn. This is not easy. All of us have been through heartbreak, some of us more than others, and it has a deep and lasting impact on us. And it can be very difficult to shift the narrative when we've been heartbroken, right? And we can start to feel like a victim. But if you learn from past relationships and heartbreaks, Capricorn, that means that it was a lesson. It wasn't a mistake. So I hope these messages resonated for you, and I will see you next time. Bye.